Hello, welcome to DuckTales. I'm Gabriel, CEO and founder of DuckDuckGo. DuckTales is everything kind of inside DuckDuckGo. Today we have a new topic I don't think we've discussed much about security in our browser. I got Tom here. Tom, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm one of the security engineers here at DuckDuckGo. I spend most of my time kind of in and out of browser security, product security, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I love.
Sweet. And I think we're here today to talk about our scam blocker. If you follow our blog, we actually had a pretty big article about this when it launched a few months ago. And so you can always check that out too. But we're going to tell you all about it here and some of the inside info on how it came together. So, yeah, Tom, you want to just like explain generally what it is? What is Scam Blocker exactly?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I guess Scam Blocker is what we call our like in-browser phishing and scam protection. It kind of runs in the background and checks websites as you visit them all locally in the browser. And we kind of have a pretty big data set here that we get from Netcraft. So we can protect against all sorts of scams. Like this isn't your standard just phishing protection. We try and protect against like cloned e-commerce sites, fake crypto exchanges, scareware like fake virus pages, advertising of like fake products and stuff. So we have like quite a lot that we're trying to protect against. But this feature as a whole is like that warning page that you get when you just before you visit something that could be like scammy or like phishing related.
So let's talk about that distinction a little bit. I guess backing up a little bit, how did this come together? Like how did we end up building this and then building it kind of differently than other companies?
Yeah, so it kind of came from like it came a long way back. So originally, like we had this idea that we wanted to improve like our tracking protection and all of this stuff that's kind of like trying to make our browsers as safe as possible for our users. And so we knew that we wanted to do something in this space, but the challenges that we saw are like it's quite easy to build a feature like this where it ends up looking like you kind of need to check people's browsing activity. And like that's a very difficult thing. Like we can't do that from a privacy perspective. So we knew that we had to do this in a privacy preserving way. And we didn't like the idea of like having to send data to Google or Microsoft or anything like that, because I think right now Google and Microsoft pretty much own this space in terms of like browser protections. And yeah, we just weren't really comfortable with having to send any data through Google or Microsoft. So that kind of led us down this path of saying, okay, so we know we need this thing. We need it to be privacy preserving, and like the best way to do that really we saw was to build it ourselves. So that's
Interesting.
essentially what we did. Yeah.
So like at a high level, like, our browser, has, a privacy protection list and set of blocking that we built ourselves too, because we didn't also believe anyone else was doing it up to the standard that we think it should be.
Yeah.
But that's all kind of behind the scenes on pages that you visit, assuming that that was a page you actually wanted to visit. And so this is, and privacy and security overlap, but as I understand it, it's like, okay, some pages you visit are actually bad for you, not because there's hidden trackers, because the page is actually bad for you. It has malware, it has
Yeah.
scams. And it's those pages that we wanted to cover. And then in doing that, like you need to have a list of bad pages. So um, everyone else seems to be using, Google, or all the other browsers besides Google and Microsoft are just kind of riding on Google Safe Browsing, or usually Google Safe Browsing from Chromium. But we
Yeah.
wanted to go somewhere different. So we found this vendor, Netcraft, who maintains a big list. And it turns out they have even a bigger list than Google's using because they're
Yeah.
in these other categories, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
like some of these scam categories that you mentioned are not traditional, just malware phishing. They're theoretically legitimate businesses that are scamming you. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they're not on Google's list, right? Is that kind of how to think about it?
Yeah. That's a good way of seeing it. Like it's um some of these are quite unique. Like one of the interesting cases that I like to refer to is like sometimes it could even be like a blog post could be a scam. Like if this is a blog post that's like advertising a fake product that's just going to steal your money. And a lot of the patterns that we see with these kinds of scam sites is that like they start on a somewhere that's like quite trusted on the internet, like a Medium article or like a GitHub page or something. And then they start try to send you down and propagate down like more and more fishy paths until you end up at this like place where they're going to steal your money or something. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at here as well with Netcraft. We get some of this data that allows us to look at like the source of it rather than waiting for you to have to go through multiple clicks to get there.
So we license this data set from Netcraft, who's aggregating all of these scams from different signals. And then what do we do with it exactly? How does it work to be embedded in the browser?
Yeah, so basically we pull this data. It's like obviously constantly evolving, which is one of the challenges that we have on the browsers and in the back end is that like this data changes all the time. So we have to update it pretty much every 5 minutes on the back end. We pull it and we process it and we like filter out some of the lower risk things and then we kind of
5 minutes
compress
is
this.
so quick. So like these things, it's just like happening in real time. I didn't realize we
It's
were doing it that
yeah,
real time.
it's rapid. Yeah. Like I think anyone, if you take a random phishing link right now and look at it again in 5 minutes, chances are that it's probably gone. So
And,
that's
and
just
that's
like,
because like all these people are reporting like these things. And so they get actually, I mean, it's this arms race, I guess. Like things get blocked
yeah,
quick. And so you actually have to update it. And they switch
exactly.
domains and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, most of the time they're switching domains all the time. It's this like constant cat and mouse game, right?
Huh. All right. I didn't realize it was that quick. Cool. Sorry to interrupt you. So every five
Yeah, no,
minutes we're updating this list on our back end.
yeah, and then we kind of compress this into like a compressible format, so it's pretty small. And then our clients, our browsers, are pulling this data every sort of 10 to 20 minutes, depending on what platform it is. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works in terms of like the update mechanism.
Got it. So then once it's sitting in the browser, then the browser can um, basically check against the list. And so if you're going somewhere that's on the list, that's when you're going to see like the warning page. Um,
Yeah.
are we similar to um, others where it's like, I mean, you get a big warning page, but you can accept the risk. And do all these warning pages look the same, or are there different types?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So, yeah, it's more or less the same. So you get this warning page. It explains the exact case, but I think we have three different warning pages, and they only vary slightly in terms of iconography and the copy of the text inside them. But yeah, they vary from malware, phishing, and scam. So the malware being more like you might download something malicious here. The phishing is more like credentials or credit cards. And then the scam, like we were discussing, is more like the broader, like we don't really know, but it's like a dodgy e-commerce site or something.
Got it. So what was any surprises in kind of building this or challenges that have arose actually getting it live to production?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, but like the first one that really comes to mind is like we have four browsers effectively. That's four different platforms. And so the core part of this feature is like we've spoken about how we have to update constantly, which is one challenge. But the other challenge is that in order for this feature to work, we basically need to intercept navigation requests. And every browser from like all of our browsers and pretty much every browser out there does this slightly differently. So like the way that it allows one website to navigate to the next website, like that piece of code or that bit of technology varies quite a lot. So we had to kind of map out all of the various ways of doing this across all the different browsers and figure out ways of doing it efficiently. Because like one of our core things that we pride ourselves in our browsers is how quick they are. Like we don't want to affect page load times. So we kind of need to do this quick just before a page loads, kind of do the check, make sure that's quick. Do we do that synchronously or do we do it asynchronously? Like there's a whole lot of stuff that you kind of need to consider there. But that was one of the biggest challenges I think we faced.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it seems like one project, but it's four big projects
Yeah, exactly.
because you got to do this for as Mac OS, Windows, Android, and iOS. I assume we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, hmm. Okay, cool. So how has it gone? Like, what did any good response? I know we put out the blog post I mentioned. We got some press on it when it launched. I mean, it seemed like a positive reaction from my point of view, but from your
Yeah.
point of view, what did you think?
Yeah, I think so. Overall, I think we had some good positive feedback on it. I think one of the unique takes about a feature like this, though, is that it doesn't, it's kind of like in the background. So success it kind of hinges on people not really seeing it. Like if loads of people are seeing this error page, then we've probably done something wrong. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
a good
think
point. It's kind of
overall,
like our other privacy protections. It's like they should be always
yeah,
on, but they shouldn't break any sites. And it should
precisely.
contribute to your peace of mind generally about using our browser being the best for privacy, in this case, security, just
Yeah.
protection generally. But yeah, it shouldn't be in your face. Yeah, or you got a problem. You're clicking on the wrong links, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the people who have come across it have at least said that it works in a good way and it gives them a good peace of mind.
Cool. So, but it sounds like, you know, it kind of went off without a hitch. Like, is there anything left to do in this now? Or are we kind of in maintenance mode with it? Just we got to make sure that obviously it's pulling down every 5 minutes and that kind of stuff. But and nothing breaks, but like it's working as it should. It sounds like.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty much in maintenance mode. I think we have about 3 or 4 people still kind of doing checks on it, making sure the metrics are still healthy and that kind of stuff. But I think there's so like we kind of planned to have some way of kind of splitting and improving and enhancing the data as well. So I don't know if we have the opportunity to add new and better data sets to it than we can. And also like we start to see trends where, for example, like malware is more prevalent on Windows. So do we want to provide more tailored malware data sets specifically for Windows, or do we want to, and like scams are more prevalent on mobile devices. So do we want to kind of tailor the data sets based on platform? So that's some of the things that we kind of want to look into in the future. And something that I've been toying around with, and this is just a bit of a tease because it's been fun for me, but I don't see much likelihood we'll be in the browser anytime soon. But I've been reading a lot about the possibility of using like small language models, but like fine tuning them specifically to be able to detect like scammy websites in browsers. And there's been some evidence that this is pretty effective. And I think this is something that I'd like to explore because it's local only and it's like has all of the privacy benefits that we would like from a feature like this as well. But yeah, I wouldn't look out in the browser anytime soon for it, but I'd like to see that in the future. It's some fun research.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that sounds fun. It sounds like a good Hack Days project, and then who knows? Lots of Hack Days projects. People watching this whole series will know end up
Yeah,
making it into the product. Um, Additionally, related to that, I mean, I definitely think we should ship local models or get access to the local models on the device that exists.
yeah,
So I think that's coming. The problem has been to date that either the local models that are provided aren't very good, or the ones that you could download aren't small enough. Like you need to download like 3 gigs or something.
yeah, exactly.
But I do think it's coming. I think so. Like I think like there will be. It sounds like there will be a future where we'll have local models on the
Yeah,
um, on the browser, either shipped by default, or maybe you could opt in and download, and then you get some extra like protection. I mean, that would be an interesting incentive, another interesting incentive to download a local model if you could use it to get like additional
extra
local
security
security protection.
protections.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd
yeah,
love
it's
that.
a good. I like it too. All right, well, we can end here. Thanks, Tom, for coming on. Hope everyone enjoyed hearing about security, and yeah, maybe if you launch that, you come back and we'll talk about it again.
Sounds great.
um,
Thanks a lot, Gabriel.
all right, bye, everybody.